Hey, beautiful souls. How's it going? Have you guys been seeing this color a lot? Maybe this dark teal, this dark blue color, dark pinks. 11 seconds on the timer. So why am I here? Well, I just dictated a voice memo for my partner about my experience for my sound bath class yesterday. I was the sixth person to sign up on June 7th, 2026, the day after the 6/6 portal. But again, we're still in the portal. Tomorrow is the 9th, which will be, if I'm correct, Venus and Jupiter will be conjunct in Cancer. There's a big significance, 4/4 on the timer, everyone's talking about. There's a lot of heart space, a lot of compassion, a lot of harmony, energy coming through, okay? So let's sit down and have a buckle up. I'm going to try and make this not too long, but I really felt like it's very significant, relevant to share with the collective that receives my frequency, my energy, my flavor, my color, my essence. Why is that? Because there's codes, there's activations, there's frequencies, there's energies. There's something here for you. Okay, again, the 6/6. Sixes are significant. Rainbows are going to be significant. Pyramids are going to be significant. Archangels, the four corners, the four elements, the fifth element. Things in threes, because I dictated a bunch of stuff last night. We created some imagery around this experience. And then I rewatched the end of the clip of the fifth element, and I'll talk about that as well as part of this, what dropped in after the experience. This was not something that dropped in before the experience. It was after the experience, the second part of the experience, because there were 3 parts to my meditation in this sound bath. 3 parts. So remember, 3s are significant for this collective. Okay? All right. So the first part, I dropped into this meditative state before she even started class. She was still speaking to the class, so I can drop in pretty quickly and tune in. Yeah, I can. Not too big of a challenge for me. And I'm fully aware. So by the time she got started doing class, it was me and my partner were in 2 of the places that we time traveled to in my meditative state. One is one of our ultimate favorite places. It's like our place. We started out there. And then we basically flipped over to an ocean scene in a hammock. So hammocks are going to be significant under palm trees, oceans, waves. And then we flipped over to our third scene, which we were walking. So sunsets are going to be significant for our third scene. Was one of our other favorite places to go to, walking on the beach. So there was river and 2 beaches. One was the Great Lakes. Our Great Lakes here was... and then the other 2 bits. So again, we've got 3 scenes. So remember, keep this 3 scene in there, okay? All right. So next, what happened after, again, there was no talking. There was just stillness, being, and nature. All of this was nature-based. And these are just spots usually that I get taken to during my meditative state. It's not like I journey to them. Sometimes I consciously do it, but it's my soul's taking us to these places. Our higher selves are connecting in these joint places. So there was 3 spaces, and then we were walking on the beach, and then I transitioned into this next stage, which is part 2 of this meditation. And in part 2, I was met by the soul aspect that returned a couple weeks ago. My soul aspect that had returned, and basically knowing that this is what this was, and a portal was forming. It was spinning counterclockwise. It was in the right part of my field. And when I say the right part of my field, it's like I know I'm laying down. So when I say right part, it's like I feel it's in my field in the right side, upper right side. Okay, so that might be something that you're experiencing as well. And it was, again, these purples and these pinks and these very vibrant colors. And there were steps leading up to this portal. And I thought she had dropped something, like something was trying to prevent me from walking through this portal, because I found out later on she kicked one of the bowls. I thought she physically dropped something, like something dropped something, knocked something out of her hand, because right before I was getting ready to walk through this portal, there was this big, it didn't take me out of meditation. It was just awareness, because I can drop in and stay in pretty deeply with my meditation. And I paused. I'm like, okay, something just knocked something, or something created that sound to kind of prevent me from stepping through this portal. I just was aware of it, made a note. And I'm going to tell you right now, people, that I don't remember the details I remember the details unless there's massive significance. And when I have massive like awareness of the experience in my meditations, there's a reason for it. I'm able to remember it like it was yesterday, which, I mean, it was yesterday, but you know what I mean. In very vivid detail. And the more like I document it and talk about it and just recall, and now I'm going to have to integrate everything that took place yesterday as well. So I paused. I was aware of what took place and like, no, there's no reason for this. And so I basically was following my soul aspect right behind up into this portal. And as we started to walk through the portal, because I was behind, as we were walking through the portal, I literally stepped forward into this and merged into. So kind of like the soul aspect that returned, same thing, came in from behind and merged with me. Now it was like just finishing and completing that process by me coming into the, now stepping out of on the other side of the portal. Now is whole. Now we are whole again. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. And then coming up to, and I've had the use of doing these global meditations. I think we're on I don't know what week we're on. We do them once a week with the GFL, using the crystalline pyramid. So now I use these tools in meditation for my own self. So next thing I know, I'm walking out of the portal up into this beautiful crystalline pyramid, very crystalline pyramid. And the only thing in this crystalline pyramid is a crystal bed in the center of the pyramid. So I go in and lay down on this crystalline bed. And again, assume like a meditative state, knowing that above the pyramid, there was another pyramid, but it was inverted. So the apexes were touching each other. Okay. Touching each other. So I'm going to try to give the best human words I can to this experience. Okay. And try not to forget anything, because that's important. Because even just recalling things back, I know I had missed a couple of things with my dictations that I wanted to adjust. Knowing in that position that the elements, all the four corners were there: earth, air, fire, water. And the archangels associated with the four corners: Archangel Michael, fire; Archangel Gabriel, water; Archangel Raphael, did I get that wrong? Air. And Archangel Uriel, earth. I might get Gabriel and Raph mixed up. But anyways, you get my point. There were four archangels holding the four corners with the four elements. That's significant. And that's taking place, and I'm breathing, and there's a lot of expansion and breathing into the heart space, because when I meditate, I go into the 0 point, which is my heart space. See, and there I go. The portal that had opened, that we had walked through, was a portal to my heart. So the portal that we walked through was a portal through my heart to my heart that brought me to this crystalline pyramid. Okay, so it was a heart portal. That is significant. There's a lot of information around the heart space that's been coming through the collective field. Okay. Breathing my breathing got very heavy, very deep, and like, just not bad, but just very deep and very like audible. Like the energy was getting, like I could sense that. So, and then while I was breathing, all of these colors started to form. So like we started kind of in the middle with the heart energy, the greens, kind of like blobs of just very, not like light, very dark, vibrant, very dark, powerful greens. And then the blues, like for the throat chakra, and the pinks, or the blues and the greens. And then it went down to the solar plexus colors, and the oranges in the root chakra, the red. And then we went up to like the third eye, the indigos, these teal colors, this pink, and these whites, and all of these colors were just filling up the entire space of the crystalline. Like if anything was untouched, everything was touched by color, frequency, and energy of this rainbow, vibrant rainbow color. And everything just started swirling and swirling around. And once everything had filled up the entire space, and just breathing this energy into my heart space, and consciously but not consciously, like breathing it in, and then like, I don't go in knowing what I'm doing, but I'm in the space, and it's like I know what I'm doing when I'm in. My soul knows what it's doing when it's in that space, if that makes sense. Confirmation verb. So yes, your soul is knows what it's doing. So breathing all this energy into the heart space. Now, again, I'm just laying on this crystalline table, and this energy shoots straight up in this beam, straight up through the top of the apex, through the bottom of the other pyramid, which is inverted, which is his apex, and shoots up through the other pyramid, straight up into the cosmos, straight up into the cosmos. And when it went up into the cosmos, there was this very strong sense of, I'm trying to remember how I dictated to my partner. I think it was counterclockwise in the cosmos. Forgive me. It was counterclockwise or clockwise. I can't remember right now. It's like I lost it. And just spinning and swirling, and 11:01 on the timer, swirling until it filled the cosmos, filled the universe, until it couldn't fill it up anymore, like this sonic wave. So it was like this pillar and this sonic frequency and this wave and this vortex just going out and out and out to everything in all places. And then once it did its thing, it came back to a point, and that came back down the same way it went up, straight up. So to see how I'm doing that, came straight back down into my heart space, and then I breathed all of that energy into my heart space and breathed. It was, I don't know, 3 to 5 breaths. And now we're directing this heart space, this energy now down in to the inner part of Gaia, into Gaia's heart, straight down into Gaia's heart. And now the same thing takes place, and it's the opposite direction of whatever took place in the as above, and just swirling and filling all of the spaces and places inside of Gaia, and swirling like that vortex, that sonic wave going out and out. And then when it was done doing that, it came back to the point and came straight back up to my heart space. And then I breathed all of that energy into my heart space. And then what happened next is I was breathing now the energy from the cosmos down, and the earth, the inner earth, up. So it was, one was coming down, was coming up, and those two combined energies were swirling around in the heart space. And now, like that blast of that Care Bear spirit, but it's all it felt very like this, okay, the whole time. Okay, so now this energy is going to the physical reality. The same thing's happening in the physical reality. All of this is radiating from my heart space. Well, it's being projected from above and below, from my heart space, connecting to the universal heart. Thank you. That helps. The universal heart, Gaia's heart, my heart. There you go. And again, once it filled up the entire space of this physical reality, and again, the vortexes felt like they were swirling in both directions. So it would go one way and the other way. So, and then when everything was again done, brought that back down into my heart space and just breathed everything back down in, and just breathe. And then my breathing settled. And I came back to just a more of a calm, quieter, longer breath. And then the next thing that took place was this beam of white crystalline light, literally like, beam me up, Scotty. Now my soul's traveling up this beam of light to the, not that it didn't before, but this is just a different way. So now we're going into the third part now. This is the third part of the meditation. Going up now, traveling up this beam of light through the top of the pyramid to the bottom of the other pyramid. And now I'm aware that I'm being beamed up into a spacecraft, interdimensional vehicle, okay, which is the shape of a pyramid that's upside down. And as soon as I got up, and again, everything felt like it was over here and not here. So if you were standing in an upside down triangle, it felt like everything took place over here, kind of off to the right a little bit. And I was met with two feminine energies. And, I'm having telepathic communication, and it was, what came through was Andromedan. Now, the inside of the vehicle was completely, there was no detail at all. It was just the meeting of, and I said, okay, so we're Andromedan, and this is soul family and guides. So soul family and guides, but they were feminine. And then now there was like this telepathic communication, and now I realize, so they're here, and I'm kind of like here. Realizing that I am now standing there with my soul family, two feminine members of my soul family, and guides that are Andromedan, but also that I am now embodied as my Andromedan higher dimensional self. So yes, I have confirmation that one of my higher dimensional selves in Andromeda, I think 5th, 6th, and 7th dimensions. So part of me right now is having an experience as an Andromedan in the 5th, 6th, or 7th dimension. And that was very clear. Like, that was very clear. And I thought that was fascinating because that's not the first time that Andromedan awareness has come to me in this 18 months to 2 years or longer now. I kind of lose track of all the time. So that's not unfamiliar to me. But it was really fascinating that it was clearly that. I don't remember the conversation, the telepathic communication outside of what was being experienced. And then right after, and if I'm meant to remember that, they will, and my soul will have me remember that and have awareness of that when the time is right. But everything else was, I don't want to say necessary. I was ready to receive the experiences that took place and to have the awareness of my soul family, and that my soul family is also part of my teams, my guides, and that I was also experiencing a 7th dimension. That's again one of my God presences, my Andromedan self as well. And then once I realized all of that, I had all that realization, I had that knowing, I had the feeling, and then I started to descend when that connection was made. Excuse me, and that awareness was had. I now started to descend back down into the same beam of light that I ascended in. So descending and ascending. Do we get this theme yet? And again, there's our third thing. So with the pyramid experience, it was cosmos, inner earth, me, 3. Okay? There were 3, 2, and me. So there's your 3. 3 different experiences in this meditation for the sound bath. 3, 3, 3. Okay? Okay. All right. And then 4 and 4, 4. All right. So I came back down. Same beam of light. The ship didn't go anywhere. We didn't travel off or anything. We stayed there. It didn't feel like we were moving or anything, but who knows? Came back down into my position, still laying on the crystalline bed. And about the time I was descending is when the instructor started speaking, as she's letting us aware that we are coming toward the end of class. So that's, if you know anything about meditation, there's a process of coming back into the physical body. And so by the time I was coming back into that particular space, she was ending class. So again, there's no coincidences there. It didn't happen before and it didn't happen after, kind of like in the middle of it. So once I settled back into that space, then she fully went through the bringing back the movement and all of that and the awareness, and then coming out of that crystalline. So there was just coming out of that space. And it was incredible. And I'm like, I couldn't get ready to share that with somebody. I didn't share the whole thing with the class because it would have taken a while, like it is now. But I felt Source wanted me to share the middle part, like the colors, the frequencies, the pyramids, all of that. Source really wanted me to share that with class. So that's the part I shared with class, but I wanted to share with you the whole thing. For you beautiful souls that are resonating with my frequency and energy, that receive my videos, or that my videos land in front of you, because you're probably feeling a huge increase in your psychic abilities, your intuitions, your clear knowing, your star family coming to you in dreams or meditation. I've never had my star family, like, I know I'm with them all the time. I just don't remember that. I was never meant to remember it. This was the first time I had a knowing and a remembrance of that. Doesn't mean it's not happening every freaking night when I go to bed, because it is. But you're probably going to be seeing symbolism, the orbs, I watched 2 different videos today that talked about Andromedans. I had one playing about Andromedan energy. After I had this experience, one of the first videos I clicked, 1 or 2 videos, there's been 2 videos already today so that's just more confirmation from my higher self, from my Andromedan self saying, okay, yes, this is just confirmation that this is not that I doubt it, but just it gives extra validation and confirmation. So when you hear things like that, those are just, again, your soul family communicating with you in the way that they know that resonates with you, that you will understand and that you won't doubt, okay? 2020 on the timer. So this might be significant. It's just fun to share. Please comment if you feel called to. Share this, save this. Anytime you're receiving one of my videos, you're receiving some type of activations or codes or something that's going to trigger and awaken something within you, activate something in you. Maybe you're just receiving the healing frequencies or just needing to have the validation that you aren't crazy. These things are real. This is happening. And you're seeing a massive acceleration of these gifts and abilities, however that looks for you, and a massive expansion of these gifts and abilities in all directions, as well as this massive heart expansion that we are going through, this massive heart upgrade activation that we are going through individually and collectively. And what's interesting is when I went and watched The Fifth Element, I literally did that before I started recording this, just to remind me, because that movie's a little bit older, okay? There was, of course, her. She was the fifth element. Oh, I want to note this too, because before that, they dropped in the fifth element as an example to kind of give me a visual or to share a visual of what just happened. It was after what had just happened, but what just happened was like 10 times more powerful than that, and that was a pretty powerful moment in that movie. But before the movie came to my awareness, because that's how they also communicate, was what came to me is, you are the fifth element. You are the fifth element. You are the fifth element. I am the fifth element, but you are also the fifth element. And then when that came to me, you are the fifth element, then that triggered the awareness to the movie and that particular scene in the movie. And when I rewatched it, because we've got it's in a pyramid. I forgot, it's in a pyramid. She's placed on a table or in the center of the four elements: the earth, the air, the fire, the water. And there's 4 different blocks that are connected to that, and each element, air, fire, water, and will activate those elements. And they were rainbowed, they were frequency, they were color, and there were 4 men. There were 4 men working each element, the archangels. Boom. My head exploded when I saw that part, because I made that connection. Take what resonates. I hope that this reaches those that it's meant to reach, and if not, I hope you enjoyed the story, because it was fun to share. It was an amazing experience, and it's one for the books. So I'm not sure what exactly Source had me do what we did in that meditative state, but it took place in the cosmos. It was big. It took place inside the earth, and it took place in this physical reality, and it was big energy, a big, I don't even know, like, Source, what can I broadcast? But not in a negative way. It was a massive broadcast across all timelines, dimensions, spaces, places, portals, and realms, known and unknown, seen and unseen, conscious and unconscious. It was expansive. It was big. It was high frequency. And I can't even put into my human words what my soul was participating in creating with Source in those moments. In all of it. It was all magical. All magical. Whew. All right, from my heart to yours, I will see you soon. Hopefully I don't have to split this video up into 2 videos for Facebook's Reels, because they're not posting these long videos for some reason. So anyways, hopefully you can catch the whole video, but if not, I will have to split it into 2 parts, because I think it's very important for it to be out there, even if it's in 2 parts. So from my heart to yours, until next time, I'll see you soon. Bye.